Hey, good day to you. This is Stan Prochowski with Prochowski Estate Law, and this is the Ask Stan show every Thursday at 12 noon, where I answer all your estate planning questions submitted throughout the week. If you have a question about wills, trusts, Medicaid pre-planning, Medicaid crisis planning, the nursing home, or just estate planning in general, just send them to me here on Facebook or call me at 363-7222 or email me at prochowskiestatelaw@gmail.com. I'll answer them live on WKSR Radio, and we post them here on the Ask Stan show every Thursday. So, let's get right to it.
I hope you're doing well today.
I am. How about you?
I'm doing fine. Saw the blue streetcar coming across. Were you in that today?
I was. Miss Tammy wants the truck, and usually that concerns me because it means she's going to fill it up, right? But,
we're taking wagers on that.
but not so much today. I thought I'd take an opportunity to, I have something I want to talk about, probably the second half of my time, but I wanted to share an experience. Last night, I was getting ready. Miss Tammy fell asleep on the couch. It was a little after 11. I'm sitting there in my chair reading like I usually do. And of course, the phone rings. And when the phone rings late at night, the instant assumption is it's bad news. And this was, Miss Tammy got a call, a family member of hers, a cousin, about mid-40s. Her husband was driving home from work and just, I don't know the details, but I think it was a bad rainstorm, lost control, and was killed in a car accident.
Oh man!
So now we have this. Now we have a widow, about 45 or 46 years old. Got two children, one in college, one in high school. So one of them's a minor. The conversation immediately went to how do we afford the house we're in, how financial situations. So I don't know what planning was involved. I suspect it was at best minimal, but I'll find out more. But I just wanted to bring the point I wanted to make is just simply that. Isn't it just amazing that your life can be whatever it is in an absolute instant? And I mean a blink of the eye. Things can be completely turned upside down.
Yes, sir.
I mean, if 2020 wasn't bad enough, just try to imagine. We now have a widow. We have two children that are, one's in college, one's in high school. 2020 has probably already turned their lives upside down. Now we're dealing with the loss of the father. We're dealing with the financial issues that come along with that, just all the heartache and heartbreak. And I often tell people, when we do our estate planning, I used to use the byline sort of like, keep your family out of court and out of conflict. And I suspect, like I said, I'll know more later, but I suspect this family's headed for court and headed for conflict. And that on top of everything else, there's all that. So it's, the takeaway is, don't put off planning. Put something in place for your family. Don't put them through it if something happens to you, because it is a big deal. It is a very big deal. So anyway, I'm going to transition to what I want to talk about. I want to talk about
that kind of brings home to a point everything you've been talking about for weeks. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's life. I mean, stuff happens. We do a lot of planning for nursing home, and we do a lot of planning for things. But I mean, don't forget the fact that things can just accidents happen. People think about the pandemic, of course, that can happen. But I mean, it really is, the uncertainty is there. Don't look the other way. Don't procrastinate, because it can happen. But what I wanted to talk about was incapacity. And although, I guess you could imagine maybe if this car accident happened, instead of resulting in a fatality, it could have resulted in an incapacity of the driver, but anyway, my office has received in the last couple of weeks sort of an unusual number of calls concerning a conservatorship. Now in Tennessee we don't call it guardianship, we call it conservatorship. And this is what happens when you don't put into effect the incapacity planning documents. In Tennessee we have two powers of attorney. We have a power of attorney for health care, which is just that. It is ability to make decisions for somebody when they become incapacitated and cannot make health care decisions for themselves. But we also have a separate power of attorney that's often referred to as the durable power of attorney, or general durable power, and that is for everything else, which is pretty much finances, but it's more than just writing checks for somebody. I mean, it's everything financial. It's buy, sell, sue, be sued, invest, file tax returns, open trusts, fund trusts. It literally gives a person the ability to stand in your shoes and conduct any business that they could do if they were able to conduct the business themselves. And what happens when that's not in place and something happens and somebody all of a sudden can't make decisions for themselves for a medical reason, well, and that's not in place, and somebody has to make these decisions, well, that puts the ball into the judicial court. So people call me and say, so-and-so's in maybe in a nursing home or, situation where we need a conservatorship. And that starts a very cumbersome ball rolling, because the only way we get the power now is to go to court. And to go to court, you have to file a petition. The petition's got to have a lot of information in it. They're not going to take our word for it that the person can't make the decisions. We need a sworn statement from a doctor's report. You have to give them notice, and because it's a court proceeding, all the due process things kick in. So all the heirs or all the relatives have to be given the due process of notice. Maybe somebody else wants the job, or you have a couple people that want to throw their hat in the ring. And it takes a while. It takes a while to happen. And I've seen a couple of those going through. It seems like I'm always doing something like that, but just seem to have an unusual number of calls for that recently. And all of that court and conflict and problem can be solved very simply with these power of attorney documents that you can put into place while you're of sound mind and clear thought. And it doesn't mean somebody's going to do your business for you just because you grant power of attorney. I mean, you give it to them at a particular time. So you certainly give it to them upon an incapacity. But the one thing about a power of attorney document, it is certainly triggered by incapacity, but it doesn't need to be triggered by an incapacity. If I get advanced in years and just get tired and say, hey, to one of my children, why don't you just take care of things for me? I just don't feel like doing it anymore. I mean, I'm not incapacitated, but I can still pass that power on for somebody to conduct my business for me. It's already in effect. I could have done it years ahead of time. It's in place, and so when it's needed, either when I can't make decisions or I just want somebody else to do it, it's all ready to go. So we hit the ground running, and that is as simple as drawing up a power of attorney document, coming into my office, and we witness it and notarize it and sign it, and it's in effect. I mean, it solves so many problems, because the alternative judicial proceeding is very cumbersome. It can get very costly, because another thing that happens with a conservatorship is there always is appointed a guardian ad litem. And the guardian ad litem is usually another attorney who does an independent analysis and review if this person needs the conservatorship. And so they talk to the doctor, they talk to the person, they talk to the family, and they come to their own independent evaluation and submit a report to the court. And in the end, the court reviews everything and decides who should be in that position. So all of that is cumbersome and expensive, because when you get a court-appointed guardian ad litem, they charge their normal hourly rate, and there's a couple folks in town that do that work, and they do a very good job. But I'm just saying it's costly compared to doing the power of attorney documents ahead of time and in advance. I mean, it's exponentially more expensive than that. So please, plan for this sort of stuff. If nothing else, put these incapacity measures into place. Come see me, or if you don't want to come see me, go see an elder law attorney or an estate planning attorney like myself, and talk about getting this stuff done. I mean, that's what we do. That's all we do. It's really a simple thing to do. Don't put the family through that sort of conflict, because it's sad. It is sad. I mean, there's more to come on what's happening with Miss Tammy's family, and we'll see how that turns out. But it happens every day. It happens here in Pulaski every day. It just don't procrastinate. The number one reason that I hear that people don't do things is denial. Well, nothing's ever going to happen to me. I'm never going to the nursing home. And I get that. I get it. I mean, I feel that way sometimes myself. But don't put it off. Put this into place. And if nothing else, do it for your family's sake. Don't do it because, for your sake. It's you probably don't think it's necessary, but it is necessary, and it is going to be necessary for your family. And I just offer that personal example, as a real life experience as to why it's necessary. So just give me a call. I'm over at the southeast corner of the square. Everybody knows my number. It's 363-7222. And I do my seminars. We had one 2 weeks ago, but we've got another one October the 1st. I think the mailers are hitting the mailboxes today. But it's over in Lawrenceburg. It's at your sister station, WALX, over there. In the back of the building, they have the Country Cafe, which is a pretty cool venue. Pretty big, too. So
yes, it is.
we should have no problem with any social distancing of the tables and chairs over there. It was a little bit limited on the one I did on the square, but we had a full house. But over at Country Cafe, we'll have plenty of room to do that. And it's not just for Lawrenceburg people. I'm doing it over there sort of by request. And the mailers are going out. I'm telling folks now, if you're interested in coming to that, I call it Wills, Trust, and the nursing home. And that's what we talk about. We talk about these planning issues. It's sort of a superficial level of knowledge, but I touch on the basics. And a lot of people tell me they learn lots that they've never known before when they've done my seminars. So give you something to think about. If you want to come on. Just call the office, talk to Miss Alex or Miss Tammy, and tell them, get an RSVP so we can get a head count, since we're going to be doing this special.
Give us that date one more time.
Well, it's October 1st. That's a Thursday. It's actually going to be 3 weeks from today.
At the WLX Country Cafe.
Right there.
That's a good place to have it.
Right there in the main drag on 43 over there in Lawrenceburg, right by that. That's right at the radio station.
I tell people one of the easiest ways to find that building, there's this 350-foot tower, literally, that's right over the top of that building. Once you see that big tower, you found it. It's right at the bottom of it.
And it is huge. And I'll tell you what, I go over there on Friday mornings. I'm on the radio over there with Mark. And right in the studio, he's got a big old screen, which is a camera that's on top of that sucker. I'm looking down the street, and it's way the heck up there.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
I don't think that tower's really used for radio.
That's a utility tower. What it does, it sends out, it's part well, it was a cell phone tower too, but it feeds all of their stations over there. A utility tower feeds a signal out, and it's handy too, I tell you. And I think too, if they have a transmitter failure at their main tower, they can click onto that one for a backup, which is nice.
That'll sure reach. But anyway, that's happening 3 weeks from today over there, and it's going to be a live in-person event. So if you're comfortable doing that, of course we do the social distancing, the cleanliness of the tables. I'm doing it twice that day. I'm going to do it one time at 1 o'clock, and the second time at 6 o'clock. So call us and say you want to come. We got social distancing, so seating will be limited, but I think we'll have plenty, because that is a big. They dance there on Friday nights. Used to. So we got a lot of room to spread out. But hey, if you want to hear more about this and avoid some of the situations I talked about today, or just do your family a big favor and do some planning, come on to my free educational seminar, Wills, Trust, and the Nursing Home, and that's what we'll talk about. So like I said, over to Square 363-7222. And I think the oldie of the week.
That's right. It's time for the Stan Perchowski oldie of the week. You want to introduce it here?
I woke up with this song in my head. Don't know why. I don't ever seem to remember my dreams, but they say you have them whether you remember them or not. But I woke up with Steppenwolf, Born to be Wild in my head. Don't know why. Had another one in my head.
There we go.
I'll save that till next week.
Stan Perchowski, oldie of the week. He'll be back next Thursday morning. Have a good day, Stan.
Thank you.